station.
Kings 88.5 FM, your station, your voice.
From the nation's capital, Monrovia, the pleasant good morning and welcome to King's Newsroom, a 45-minute news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of the world. Today is Tuesday, August 5th, 2025, and I'm Newton, Tokwa presenting stories we're following this morning. The economic community of West African states commences 4 days drug abuse and mental health awareness campaign in Monrovia. The House of Representatives leadership featured the rise President Joseph Boakai to halt all operations of Liberia traffic management and initiate full investigation. Tells Liberia National Police to work with the Ministry of Transport to enforce the motor vehicles and traffic laws. Opposition Congress for Democratic Change lawyers file rate of certiorari at Supreme Court to overturn George Smith's decision of the party's eviction from its headquarters. Away from Liberia, Western leaders have condemned video of emaciated Israeli hostages flamed by their captors in Gaza, with the Red Cross calling for access to all remaining in captivity. A white South African farm worker accused of killing 2 black women says he was forced to feed their bodies to pigs, according to lawyers. These plus the news bulletin, our international developments, and our package. But we'll take a very short break. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's now have the news bulletin. The Parliament of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has begun a 4-day awareness campaign on drug abuse and mental health in Monrovia. This initiative, scheduled from August 4th to the 8th, follows similar campaigns previously held in Conakry, Guinea, and Freetown, Sierra Leone in June of this year. Speaking in Monrovia Monday, Liberia head of the delegation to ECOWAS, Senator Edwin Snow, said the campaign has been initiated to provide awareness and raise in drug abuse across the sub-region. He noted that ECOWAS Parliament intends to assess national strategies and gather insights from both government agencies and civil society organizations in finding amicable solutions to the proliferation of illegal substances across the region. According to him, the initiative aims to harmonize drug laws, enforce mechanisms, and policy frameworks across member states. Also speaking in interview with reporters, a parliamentarian from Cape Verde, Orlando Pereira Diaz, said the aim is also to alert stakeholders about the escalating challenges posed by substance abuse and mental health disorders, an increasingly pressing issue in West Africa. The Cape Verde parliamentarian said the mission anticipates extensive engagement with national stakeholders, including ministerial representatives, healthcare professionals, youth in recovery, civil society organizations, and local authorities and institutions. The leadership of the House of Representatives has endorsed a recommendation from its Joint Committee on Investment and Concession and Transport requesting the executive to halt all operations of the Liberia Traffic Management. The communication issued by the House of Representatives Monday noted that the decision aimed at properly investigating and reviewing the LTM's concession agreement. The concession agreement between the Liberia Traffic Management and the government, following its approval by President Joseph Boakai, has sparked public concern, triggering a series of protests by the employees of the Ministry of Transport and Commercial Drivers. According to the release, the House's decision was reached during the leadership meeting on Monday, August 4th. Members of the House of Representatives, through the communication call on the Liberian National Police, through the Office of the Police Inspector General Gregory Coleman to work with the Ministry of Transport to enforce all motor vehicle and traffic laws in accordance with existing statutes. The Horse's leadership also noted it has communicated with the executive, urging it to launch a full investigation in adherence to the Joint Committee's report in the interest of public accountability, legal clarity, and the welfare of Liberians. In another development, the House of Representatives on concessions on Monday held a special public hearing involving the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, the Ministry of Mines and Energy, and the Liberian Revenue Authority to examine the Hummingbird Resources Concession Agreement. The purpose of the hearing was to assess whether the company is in compliance with tax adherence requirements, a key factor that will inform the committee's final position on concession. After several hours of deliberation, members of the committee filed a motion for continuance, rescheduling the hearing for Friday, August 8th at 2 o'clock p.m. While reading the motion, Bon County District 7 Representative Fode Famule directed Hummingbird Resources to reappear before the Joint Committee on Concessions for further questioning. Representative Famule also instructed the company to present its tax clearance certificates and other relevant supporting documents during the next hearing. Lawyers representing the Congress for Democratic Change have taken flight to the Supreme Court after the subordinate court refused to grant their petition for specific performance, which is seeking for sale of the late Martha Stubblefield property to them in Congo Town. The High Court over the weekend confirmed to our judicial correspondent that the former ruling party filed a petition before the presiding justice in chamber for the writ of certiorari. CDC's lawyers' request to the High Court claimed that Judge Smith erred by denying their petition and strongly believe his decision will be overturned by the presiding justice in chamber. On August 1st, 2025, Judge Smith denied CDC's application on grounds that failed to show any legal proof of an existing contract between CDC and the administrator of the late Martha Stubblefield property for the sale of the 4.23 acres of land. As such, their request warrant dismissal consistent with law. Our judicial correspondent said although the High Court has since confirmed CDC's petition for specific performance, but justice in chamber is yet to act on the matter. The U.S. Embassy near Monrovia has officially announced the appointment of Joseph Zardoni as Chargé d'Affaires, placing him at the helm of the U.S. diplomatic mission in Liberia. He previously served as Deputy Chief of Mission following his arrival in July 2025. He succeeds outgoing Chargé d'Affaires Catherine Rodriguez. A release issued by the U.S. Embassy near Monrovia Monday described him as a veteran diplomat and career member of the U.S. Senior Foreign Service. According to the embassy, he assumes the post of a pivotal movement in U.S.-Liberia relations aimed at increasing scrutiny over governance, transparency, and the direction of the U.S. foreign policy in West Africa. He currently serves as management counselor at the U.S. Embassy in Abuja, Nigeria, including assignments in Papua New Guinea, China, Germany, Mongolia, and Uzbekistan. The U.S. Embassy release added that prior to entering foreign service in 1998, he served with the Peace Corps, first as a volunteer in Mongolia and later as staff in Washington, D.C. and the Solomon Islands. The National Transit Authority has announced an increment in transport fares for several areas connecting Monrovia and the southeastern region, denouncing recently announced fares. According to a statement released by the NTA, commuters traveling from Grand Julia County to Monrovia will be charged 4,500 Liberian dollars instead of the previous 3,000 Liberian dollars. The NTA also set the fare from Monrovia to other parts of the southeastern region, including Maryland County, at 5,500 Liberian dollars. The National Transit Authority noted its new fares will take effect beginning August 15, 2025. Authorities of the NTA noted that the hike in fare is a step forward to ensure a long-term sustainability of its operations and to maintain the quality of its services, delivery, across the nation. The University of Liberia campus-based Student Unification Party has issued a warning to the national legislature threatening to stage a mass protest if the government renovates the Capitol building without first addressing the deteriorating conditions of the university. Leaders of the student group have accused the government of gross neglect of the university's campuses, citing a long-standing lack of maintenance and critical infrastructure issues. The students believe that the alleged neglect undermines the quality of education and shows a disregard for youth development. Speaking Monday at the university's campus Hill, SUP chairman for propaganda, Emmanuel Pole, condemned the legislature's plan to prioritize the renovation of parts of the Capitol building that were damaged during the fire incident in 2024. He characterized the decision by the lawmakers as being indifferent to their plights and concerns about the deplorable conditions of the university. Pole outlined leaking roofs, broken classroom furniture, and unhygienic restaurant facilities as challenges schools is currently experiencing. The SUB propaganda chairman, however, warned members of the House of Representatives, urging them to halt the renovation project or face a wave of student protests in the coming days. Criminal Court A is reportedly considering the arrest of Linsu President James Washington and Secretary General Dayu Tuwet in connection to 4 UL students' refusal to appear in court for criminal prosecution. The students in question are Stephen Brown, Momo Brutal, Christian Bryant, and Obadiah Jala, all from the Student Unification Party at the University of Liberia. Judge Roosevelt will to our judicial correspondent Sunday that they will be forced to apprehend the 2 students' leaders due to their refusal to surrender the 4 UL students to the court since they serve as sureties for them on June 12, 2025, with the assurance to turn them over when they are needed by the court. Our judicial correspondent said Judge Woolley believed that the arrest and incarceration of Lincoln President James Washington and his Secretary General Dario Tuet will compel the 4 UL students to show out from hiding places. The 4 UL students have since been indicted by the grand jury of Montserrat County in connection to the March 18, 2025 incident at the Liberia Football Association, but are yet to be served with their sealed indictment. Commercial motorcyclists in Broom County District 5 have expressed frustration over what they describe as government's failure to improve road infrastructure in the area. The cyclists, most of whom claim to be supporter of President Joseph Boakai in the 2023 elections due to their promise to rescue the citizens, said they feel betrayed by the government's alleged unfulfilled promises and a lack of tangible development. They also expressed disappointment with the administration's alleged failure to deliver on key campaign commitments, particularly the promise to deploy yellow machines to rehabilitate damaged roads across the country. According to them, more than a year has passed since the president assumed office, yet no meaningful steps have been taken to address the worsening road conditions in their district. The National Rehabilitation for War and Drug-Affected Persons has disassociated itself from the planned peaceful protest against drug on August 7 in Monrovia. The executive director of the institution, retired Colonel Augustine Nangbe, said his organization is withdrawing from the protest because some people are using the planned protest to score political gains. Speaking in an interview with the station, Colonel Nangbe pointed out those instead of station protests, there is a need to encourage the national legislature to support institutions involved in the rehabilitation of drug-affected youths. The executive director of the National Rehabilitation for War and Drug-Affected Persons made it clear that as retired soldier, he can get involved in political activities. Maghibie County District 3 Representative Eleanor Torre has challenged Liberians to put aside their political acne and religious differences and work collectively in moving the nation forward. The Magiri County lawmaker also pointed out the importance of public-private partnerships in national development, adding that it is wise to unite and collaborate for the betterment of the country. Speaking during the dedication of Asila Mita Liberia 28-kilometer stretch of rehabilitated road connecting Kakata to the Habe Clubhouse, Representative Red highlighted that the local community appreciation for ArcelorMittal contributions to Liberia's growth, particularly in the area of infrastructure. According to her, once a country has a company that contributes meaningfully to development, the government should continue to support and appreciate that company, describing the dedicated road projects as a major milestone in infrastructure development in the region. Citizens in the area have begun celebrating as the rehabilitation is expected to ease transportation, boost local commerce, and improve access between Margibi and surrounding towns. The head of the Traditional Council of Bon County, Aaron Saki, is calling on local authorities and citizens of the county to help us, that's to assist for the clearing and opening of the road leading from Nyafo to Bela near Nimba County. Head of the Bon County Traditional Council noted that over the times, many vehicles and motorbikes have been involved into accidents due to huge bushes, which have created narrow path on the road. Saki said he is initiating the project on his personal expense as a leader who believes in serving as an example for every good citizen to emulate such example. What if you just joining us? A reminder you're listening to King's News Broom, a 45 minutes news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of the world. Today is Tuesday, August 5th, 2025, and I'm Newton Tukpa presenting. Stories we're following this morning. The Economic Community of West African States commences 4 days drug abuse and mental health awareness campaign in Monrovia. House of Representatives leadership official advised President Joseph Boakai to hold all operations of Liberia traffic management and initiate full investigation. Tells the Liberian National Police to work with the Ministry of Transport before enforcement of motor vehicles and traffic laws. Opposition Congress for Democratic Change lawyers filed writ of certiorari at Supreme Court to overturn George Smith's decision of the party's eviction from its headquarters. And away from Liberia, Western leaders have condemned videos of emaciated Israeli hostages filmed by their captors in Gaza, with the Red Cross calling for access to all remaining in captivity. A white South African farm worker accused of killing 2 black women says he was forced to feed their bodies to pigs, according to lawyers. We'll take another break and we'll come back. We'll bring you the voices of the newsmakers. Welcome back. On this first development here this morning, the Parliament of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has begun a 4-day awareness campaign on drug abuse and mental health in Monrovia. The initiative, scheduled from August 4th to the 8th, follows similar campaigns previously held in Conakry, Guinea, and Freetown, Sierra Leone in June of this year. Speaking in Monrovia Monday, Liberia head of delegation to ECOWAS mission, Senator Edwin Snow, said the campaign has been initiated to provide awareness and raise awareness on drug abuse across the sub-region.
The issue of drugs is a major issue in our West African region. So the ECOWAS Parliament, in our last session, adopted its work program for 2026 to do a tour of the ECOWAS region to understand the different approaches with governments and civil society, fight against drugs and substance abuse. So the ECOWAS Parliament in June visited Guinea-Conakry, where they conducted a similar tour and study. In July, they were in Sierra Leone. They did similar down there in Liberia. The idea of this mission is that we want to synchronize a drug law for West Africa. When this mission is completed, they're going to do a presentation to the ECOWAS Parliament in our next session we held in Ghana. And the result from that will go to the authorities of head of states and government. That is all of the presidents. And then we'll see how best we can adapt a common front in the fight against drugs. The issue of drugs, very, very important in our region. It's affecting our young people and it's taking over our generation. And we feel that if nothing holistic is done about it, we're going to have a major crisis in the not too distant future. So it's not about what the government is doing or not doing. And that's why I said it's not just unique to Liberia. The delegation visited Guinea-Conakry, visited Sierra Leone already. They will be going to the Gambia, they will be going to Cape Verde, they will be going to Guinea-Bissau, Ghana, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, in England, Nigeria, everywhere. So I believe that the government, in its own weak way, is doing its best to fight drugs. The fact that the budgetary allotment for drugs has increased. The fact that when there was chaos at the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, the president took decisive step to, first of all, he suspended those that were involved, and then followed by the dismissal. There's a new leadership there, which I think they're doing a good job so far. We have not heard of any disruption there. So I think the government, but this is a serious fight, and it has to be for politics. We may have our political differences, we may have our political disagreement, but like I said, there is no household that will tell you that it's exempted from the abuse or from drugs. So if we go and put our domestic politics into the fight against drugs, I think we'll be affecting our own generation. So again, I must be clear about this. I'm impressed with the government fight against drugs. Do we need to do more? Yes. Is the glass half empty? No, I think the glass is half full, and that is why the ECOWAS Parliament is here. That's why they're buttressing the government effort. It's not unique to Liberia. They're doing it in all of the West African countries.
Also speaking in interview with reporters, the parliamentarian from Cape Verde, Orlando Pereira Diaz, said that the aim is also to alert stakeholders about the escalating challenges posed by substance abuse and mental health disorders, an increasingly pressing issue in West Africa. The Cape Verde parliamentarian said the mission anticipates extensive engagement with national stakeholders, including ministerial representatives, healthcare professionals, youth in recovery, civil society organizations, and local authorities.
And we are here to do sensibilization, to sensitize and promote activities to fight psychoactive substance abuse. We want to fight the drugs problem in our region, to protect mental health for our young people, to give them opportunity of employment, education, to fight poverty, and to have a program, very strong program to fight drugs and to help our youth and our population to have a good environment. So is our objective. We'll meet authorities. We was in the Minister of Foreign Affairs, after the Minister of Health, different organizations. We will visit the center where the youth is affected, and now the reality, and to report, to present a organization. We will visit the center where the youth is affected, and now the reality, and to report, to present Parliament, ECOWAS Parliament, and to present of the Conference of Heads of States and help all countries, ECOWAS countries to fight drugs and to protect our young people.
He's a parliamentarian from Cape Verde, Orlando Pereira Diaz. Earlier, you heard the voice of Senator Edwin Melvin Snow of Bombay County. In another development, the House of Representatives Committee on Concessions on Monday held a special public hearing involving the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, the Ministry of Mines and Energy, and the Liberia Revenue Authority to examine the Hummingbird Resources Concession Agreement. The purpose of the hearing was to assess whether the company is in compliance with tax clearance requirements, a key factor that will inform the committee's final position on the concession. After several hours of deliberation, members of the committee filed a motion for continuance, rescheduling the hearing for Friday, August 8th, that's 8th, 2025 at 2 o'clock p.m. While reading the motion, Bond County District 3 Representative Fode Famulette directed Hummingbird Resources to reappear before the Joint Committee on Concessions for further questioning. Representative Famulette also instructed the company to present its tax clearance certificates and other relevant supporting documents during the next hearing.
Those in favor of the motion that Hummingbird will appear on Friday, 2 o'clock, and come with all of the literature explanation has to do with tax obligations, community contributions, and accounts, including receipts of all financial payments to the area and a copy of their financial audited copy of the financial statement, audited copy of the financial statement for the past 3 years. Those in favor of the motion, put the right up or say yes.
He is Bond County Representative Fode Famulette there speaking. The University of Liberia campus-based Student Unification Party has issued a warning to the national legislature threatening to stage a mass protest if the government renovate the Capitol building without first addressing the deteriorating conditions of the university. Leaders of the student group have accused the government of gross neglect of the university's campuses, citing a long-standing lack of maintenance and critical infrastructure issues. The students believe that the alleged neglect undermines the quality of education and shows a disregard for youth development. Speaking Monday at the university's campus in Monrovia, SUP chairman for propaganda, Emmanuel Pole, condemned the legislature plan to prioritize the renovation of parts of the Capitol building that were damaged during the fire incident. He characterized the decision by the lawmakers as being indifferent to their plight and concerned about the deplorable conditions of the university. Here is Emmanuel Pole.
You have formed the legislature matter for listening to fire influence and the Student Unification Party in its resolve. Prepare to engage the White House administration with everything we have in our revolutionary credential capacity as an institution to make sure that the legislature will not be removed. This university, this building built in 1952. Since this building was built in 1952, it has not been renovated. It's not been renovated. This is just one of the least structure of the university. It is the power stage and form. This is one of the least. It will take you to the TS building. You see here. It will take you to the bathroom. It will take you to the library of the university. The university has over to the 2,000 students. But the books in the library, if you take it, it reaches 20. All of the books in the university library were books that Joseph Tiki Robert gave to the university library. Joseph Tiki Robert will come back today, go to the university library, you'll see, but this was the book I left here. So in the coming days, we'll be at the ground of the lesson. Summer there. We were a summer there with over thousands of students. We're summer there with the mothers. We're summer there with the constant and progressive classes of the school. Delay and improvement in the structural environment of the Kimia. You brought to us one Western West protocol, Lady Mapan. On the leader, she's coming to improve the university, academic outlook, research outlook, but still see. Comrades, this is not day for intellectualism. This is day that the party strategic revolutionary actions. Reactionary Tennessee.
Amen.
Reactionary Tennessee.
Amen.
Reactionary Tennessee.
Amen. Amen.
Yo, since she came, student how did you see all of that crazy? Yo. All the systems she ready and systems still reckless. Yo.
He's SUP propaganda chairman Emmanuel Puli there speaking. The National Rehabilitation for War and Drug-Affected Persons has disassociated itself from the planned peaceful protest against drug on August 7 in Monrovia. The executive director of the institution, retired Colonel Augustine Langbe, said his organization is withdrawing from the protest because some people are using the planned protest to score political gains. Speaking in an interview with the station, Colonel Langbe pointed out that those planning the protest, instead of staging protests, there is a need to encourage the national legislature to support institutions involved in the rehabilitation of drug-affected persons.
I'm going to disassociate myself from the protests. It's a peaceful assembly, we're not a protest. So I'm going to disassociate myself because it's political on a tune. And we don't want that. We don't want any political business in this drug business. We want the parents, the fathers, the mothers who are trying to get together. I ask all my supporters to remain home because the protest they're trying to go to is political on the tune. And we are not here for that. We're not here for drug business. Anybody having a political business, I'm or it. I'm not a political man. This drugs pandemic we have in the country, we feel that it's going different. And Liberians are dying, people are living in the grave, which of course to make sure that the drug business is not good and killing the children. And we try to put our foot down on it for peaceful gathering to go to the Senate. But we see that the drugs issue, people trying to political side it. It's not political only. If you want to do a political thing, you must bring food to the real for the children. You don't have to go in the street to go against government or to say you want to demonstrate politically. We don't want anybody with politics in this peaceful gallery to go to the Senate for the Senate. And we are also asking the Senate to prepare the good law.
He's retired, Colonel Augustine Nangbe, disassociating his organization from the planned protest against drug abuse. What falls with the time half past the hour, a reminder. You're listening to King's Newsroom, a 45-minute news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of the world. Stories we're following this morning. The Economic Community of West African States commences 4-day drug abuse and mental health awareness campaign in Monrovia. House of Representatives leadership official the rights. President Joseph Boakai to halt all operations of Liberia traffic management and initiate full investigation. Tells the Liberian National Police to work with the Ministry of Transport to enforce the motor vehicles and traffic laws. Opposition Congress for Democratic Change lawyers filed a writ of certiorari at the Supreme Court to overturn Judge George Smith's decision of the party's eviction from its headquarters. Away from Liberia, Western leaders have condemned videos of emaciated Israeli hostages flamed by their captors in Gaza, with the Red Cross calling for access to all remaining in captivity. A white South African farm worker accused of killing 2 black women says he was forced to feed their bodies to pigs, according to lawyers. We'll take another break and we'll come back. We continue the program. Maggie County District 3 Representative Elena Torre has challenged Liberians to put aside their political, ethnic, and religious differences and work collectively in moving the nation forward. The Maggie County lawmaker pointed out the importance of public-private partnerships in national development, adding that it is wise to unite and collaborate for the betterment of the country. Speaking during the dedication of Asilamita Liberia 28-kilometer stretch of rehabilitated road connecting Kakata to Habel Clubhouse, Representative Ray highlighted the local community appreciation for Asilamita contributions to Liberia's growth, particularly in the area of infrastructure. According to her, once a country has a company that contributes meaningfully to development, the government should continue to support and appreciate that company, describing the dedicated road project as a major milestone in infrastructural development in the region.
And indeed, today is a beautiful day, a wonderful day for all of us. Not just the people of District Number 3 or my Guinea, but the people of Liberia. It will interest you to know that this road that has been rehabilitated by Asalamita, it connects as far as the canal to Firestone, the airport, and then back to Monrovia. There's something that we have engaged them over the time. People thought it wasn't going to come to light because of the prolonged the time overview that we look at from the engaged as Asalamita. People were discouraged. They were on my goals many days, asking as to whether our request will be honored by Asalamita. And I said, yes, it will be honored because they gave me their words, they made a commitment. But it's just a matter of time. They got their own policy. But here we are today celebrating the good work of our partners. When we have companies in Liberia and they understand their contribution towards the growth, towards the success of the development of that country, we just need to give them thanks and continue to knock on their doors. So we are here today to say thanks from the depth of our hearts to Asalamita. To tell you that what you have done, we appreciate and we look forward to working with you. I continue to say that when it comes to the development of our country, let's put away our differences and work together. I want to say thanks to the president of the Republic of Liberia. Through his leadership, those that he appointed to work in this county. Even before I saw the county resident engineer in person, I was always calling on him based on our own personal rehabilitation we have done. And the first day, I will tell you this joke, when he saw me in person, he looked at me and his facial expression could tell you that, no, but this small girl been calling me Broom. So the moment I saw you, I'm like, okay, I small girl, but I work for us. And you are the county resident engineer, so I need to validate the work that needs to. And since then, we have been working collectively as per the Constitution. We are separate but coordinating branches of the. So it is just prudent, it is wise enough to work together collectively to reach. Now we have the mayor here, we have the superintendent from the executive branch, as well as county resident engineer. And you have me as your humble servant, the lawman, who were able to use my oversight responsibility in the representation. I heard Marcus when he spoke and he asked his colleague whether the people are happy. We are grateful, we are happy, we appreciate the work.
She's Maggie County Representative Ellen Arthur Ray speaking. The head of Traditional Council of Broom County, Aaron Saki, is calling on local authorities and citizens of the county to help assist for the clearing and opening of the road leading from Nyafo to Baila near Nimba County. Head of the Broom Traditional Council noted that over the past time, many vehicles and motorbikes have been involved into road accidents due to huge bushes which have created narrow path on the road.
So one of the best thing, because if I call all the partnership within this county to come to this occasion, people will be talking about transportation, people will be talking about this, people will be talking about that. But I desire I have meeting with some of my officials, some of my stakeholders that you can see reason to start brush the road from here. Are we going to eat? I said, by the grace of God, we all will eat because the ants, God can feed the ants. So you now wait from 8 to 3:30, no food, no. The ice milk, there will be a water. I said, once I tell you that God feed the ants, you need to eat. So God will feed us on that day. We will be starting Monday by 8 o'clock. In Jesus' name. Picking up from Swakoko going to Banga. Okay. So once I start to get supply, I will distribute it to all the partnerships that live along the road. Places that Jirico, Salala, Toluta, Because I do know my own finance now for now. I do know my own finance.
Okay.
We'll be starting on Monday. So all those that came for the meeting and whosoever want to join, tap the accident. So you now know when a car that parking the car and the van that all kind of road near the wild grass. So once the road is clear, you know where it's hell on you.
Okay. Have you reached out to
Yeah, this is part of the agenda. We're not telling them that because we do it officially, communication we do it officially, but we want to start and help the while they are hearing me and help anybody that they can bring it on a day. From Mondays to Friday they can bring it.
Okay.
My office is available. My number is 90886 100. That's my number.
He's the head of the Broom Traditional Council, Aaron Saki, there speaking. And away from Liberia, a West African farm worker accused of killing two black women says he was forced to feed their bodies to pigs according to lawyers. Adrian DeWitt is one of three men facing murder charges after Maria Magato, 45, and Lucia Dovo, 34, were killed while allegedly looking for food on a farm near Polokwane in South Africa's Northern Limpopo province last year. Their bodies were alleged to have been given to pigs in an apparent attempt to dispose of the evidence. Madi Wet 20 turned state witness when the trial started on Monday and says farm owner Zechariah Janice Oliver shot and killed the two women. Western leaders have condemned a video of emaciated Israeli hostages flamed by their captors in Gaza, with the Red Cross calling for access to all remaining in captivity. UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy said images of hostages being paraded for propaganda are sickening and they must be released unconditionally. The calls come after the Palestinian Islamic Jihadi published video of Rome Braslavic, Teen, and Carry On Thursday, and Hamas released footage of an emaciated Ivator David on Saturday. Israeli leaders accused Hamas of starving hostages. Hamas armed wing denied it international staffs prisoners, saying hostages eat what their fighters and people eat amid a hunger crisis in Gaza. But first, on that note, this is how I would like to go home on this edition of King's News Run, a 45 minutes news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of the world. But just before we go home this morning, let's remind you of stories we've been following. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, commences full-day drug abuse and mental health awareness campaign in Monrovia. The House of Representatives leadership officially rights President Joseph Walker to halt all operations of Liberia traffic management and initiate full investigation, tells the Liberian National Police to work with the Ministry of Transport for the enforcement of the motor vehicles and traffic laws. Opposition Congress for Democratic Change lawyers filed a writ of certiorari at the Supreme Court to overturn Judge Smith's decision of the party's eviction from its headquarters. And away from Liberia, Western leaders have condemned videos of emaciated Israeli hostages flamed by their captors in Gaza, with the Red Cross calling for access to all remaining in captivity. A white South African farm worker accused of killing two black women says he was forced to feed their bodies to pigs according to lawyers. These are stories we follow here this morning on King's News Broom. But better still join us this afternoon at 1 o'clock, at which time we'll be here with another splendid edition of the program. I would like to say many thanks to all of our reporters, correspondents, news editors who helped in making this package of sources. My name is Newton Tokba. Have a pleasant good morning. Bye-bye.